a little bit, and we'll be talking some boxing and golf news as well. And that should be very, very entertaining because you know me. I'm not just going to ask, just a ABC question. I'm going to Y. I'm going to Z. I'm going to, 3X and X has the value of 6 when Vince get in here, So we're going to have a lot of fun, with that. But we're talking about the Michigan and the Villanova game because also something else happened after that game, after Michigan took the L. And that was, if you didn't see it, or maybe notice it, Kyle Lowry was at the game. Kyle Lowry of the Toronto Raptors, we all know, he's an alum of Villanova, probably their biggest NBA product that's come out of there. They've had some guys that come out of there, but probably, their most successful, if you will, player to reach the NBA. And he was in the stands with Ed Pinckney, and you're probably thinking like, well, what's the deal? A lot of guys go, to see their alma mater play, and all that stuff. Yeah. So he got into a little bit of heat, though, because the Raptors kind of had a game the next day. And I think it was of a back-to-back that was coming up. And that first game was against the Cavs, and they lost that game, that following game. Now, they lost the game. It wasn't bad, 112-106, so they lost by 6 points, so that's not bad. But what everybody was talking about was Kyle Lowry's performance. And he shot, he played, but he shot 2 for 11 in the game and had 5 points. So he's under a little bit of heat right now because everyone is saying, oh, man, Kyle shouldn't have been at the game. That wasn't a good look. You had a big game against the Cavs. What were you doing? Being down in San Antonio and then flying back, to the game. That's not something to do. Let me say this before we talk to the governor, because we'll be talking to him pretty soon here. I get what everyone is saying, about the whole thing of maybe he should have been at home watching the game. Maybe he should have left early, Maybe he just shouldn't have went to the game, just at all. Right? So here's my thing about it. One, he didn't miss any practices or anything like that. He wasn't late. He got everything done that he was supposed to get done. And he's a grown man. Grown man doing grown things. Now, when you do something like that, though, especially with the game that you got lined up with the Cavs, and everybody's going to be watching that game, you set yourself up. You set yourself up for reactions like this. Now, I'm not going to get on him too bad, because he was just doing what a lot of people do. People put a spotlight on professional athletes, and they act like they do stuff that other people don't do. We all know someone, and it probably was us ourselves, because I've done it. Good and well you got to be to work the next day. Good and well you got to be up early. Good and well you're not going to be at work for just 2 hours and then get to go home. But that Jay-Z concert, it's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. J and B back on the scene again. It's going to be fire. I got to be there. Fellas, you done got that call from a lady. Hey, let's go hang out and all that stuff. You got to be to work. Nah, you're going to still go out. And then you go to work and you're dragging. We've all been there. It's the same thing. Kyle Lowry was probably just dragging. Should he have chose this game? Probably not. But I think he can live with the consequences. It wasn't a playoff game. It wasn't the finals. It's a regular season game. I know they're still in the running, for first place, and they could fall down to second because of Boston is right behind them by 2 games. But I think we're making it a little bit more than what it should be. Mocha Bella said the Raptors was going to lose the game against the Cavs anyway. You might be right. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later because as you saw, tonight's show is listed, named Same Old Raps, with a question mark. Same old Raps. So I'm not really going to sweat them about it because it could have went the other way. We were just talking about, there was a report a couple days ago. Remember Klay Thompson? Remember he dropped 60 points in 29 minutes and everyone was just talking about how, miraculous that was. It was. Don't get me wrong. 60 points in 29 minutes, that's balling. But now it just came out, KD was saying, Klay missed practice. He overslept. Said he woke up hour and a half late. And, they were already into practice. And he said, you know what? There's no point in me just showing up. So I'm going to go back to sleep. He missed practice. He must have overslept. And you say, well, you still should have got your butt up and went to work. Yeah. He said, you know what? I'll get there later. And he dropped 60. So it was just a bad night. Not a bad decision. But when you do something like that, you put yourself up for people to poke at you and say, look, I told you. But like Mocha Bella said, they probably wasn't going to win anyway. And they didn't win, and again, we'll talk about that later. And also later, sooner than later, we're going to have my man Vince Wright that's going to be calling into the show. And we're going to be talking some boxing, and some golf. But with the Kyle Lowry thing. Only real thing is that it's an opportunity to crack a joke or poke fun at him. Everyone has done it. Everyone knows someone that has done it. He was at the game, and now if he had came back, and even if they still lost, because remember they only lost by 6. It's not like they got blown out. It's not like. They were, and I don't like to use this example, but it wasn't like it was the whole Odell Beckham, Victor Cruz, and all them, how everyone said they went on the boat and then they came back and it was just like their hands were made of stones and bricks and it just didn't seem like they were, involved in the game, and all that stuff and got handled, He had a bad night. That's pretty much it. Had a bad night. I can't do much more, than that. Now, if he had a balled out, everyone would have been like, oh my gosh, maybe he should go to more Villanova games, and all that stuff. Should he go to more Villanova games? No. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So, coming up, we got my man Vince Wright, I told you, and we're gonna get into it. With Vince Wright about, and he's calling right now. So hold on one second. Hello, Casanova, the ghetto speaking. Who is this?
Vince Wright, the sports governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, and kids of all ages, get up, get in here because the governor of Minnesota has called into the Wait a Minute show. How are you doing tonight, sir?
What is going on, Jelani? King of the college basketball world, man. You got to be feeling good.
I am feeling good. I'm feeling fantastic. Because a lot of people didn't have Michigan where they were going.
No.
And also, it just gives where credit is due. Me and Angry Black Man is always on me. But, the one thing we do agree on is Coach John Beilein. Maybe he'll start getting some of the credit he deserves, because Jay Wright was kind of in that same situation, but Jay Wright won his championship games. That's the difference. But, everyone was saying Jay didn't do this, Jay didn't do that, and all that stuff. And John Beilein, he has gotten the Michigan Wolverines to 2 championship games in 5 years.
You know,
with
it's
not
very good.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Bob. No, I did not mean to interrupt you. Obviously, I was giving you a little shot there in the beginning, but you're absolutely right, man. I mean, Michigan, very impressive during this run. I mean, obviously the second, Big Ten conference crown as well. They're winning the tournament over at Madison Square Garden. And all jokes aside, I know, the shot I just took there, but really, Jelani, I just wanted to give your team some props. Being a Big Ten graduate myself, as you know, from the University of Minnesota, I'm always down to support the conference. So props to Michigan, even though they did come in second.
Yeah. And as a wise man once said, if you ain't first, you're last. So bless Ricky Bobby. But let's talk about this boxing news. So I've told people, boxing, golf, not my, forte or anything like that, but I will bring it up and then I will get to people that are specialists in it and we'll talk and rapportace about it. So,
absolutely.
With the boxing, the first thing that I saw, and I'm please, Governor, please tell me this is a joke or this was a hoax because I think it was on April Fool's. Mayweather versus Conor in an octagon. Please tell me that was fake.
We'll see.
No.
We will see, man. Here's the thing, Jelani. It should be fake. Floyd has made, quite a large amount of money, as everybody knows, over the course of his career. What is the point of jumping into the octagon and more than likely, if you're fighting McGregor, having him return the favor to you and kicking your butt, if you know what I mean? Here's the thing, man. For the right price, remember the $1 Million Man in wrestling, Ted DiBiase. Every man has a price.
Everybody's got a price.
If Dana White comes up to you, man, and says, "Hey, $500 million," that'll get you to the table to listen.
Well, and you know what? And I think all of us have said, for 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, or something like that, I'll let Mike Tyson punch me, so maybe that is what it is. Maybe that's what Floyd is thinking is just like, all right, if I'm going to take an L or if I'm going to take a whooping, it's going to be an expensive whooping, for the boatload of all boatloads. But I just don't think Floyd understands, though, is that in the octagon, they can grab you. This is not, I just have to touch you with my gloves. They can grab you and drag you around that canvas if they so choose.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I mean, honestly, bones are broken. Things have been dislocated, and it's all legal. I mean, outside of what we used to call in wrestling the great equalizer, the shot to the nuts, I mean, everything else is on the table in the octagon. So do you really want to take a chance of possible lifelong injury? Anything that could happen within there, Jelani. But again, for $500 million, $400 million, whatever that number might be, we will see. I hope he doesn't do it. I think Floyd really just kind of needs to retire. I hope he gets his financial house in order so he doesn't even have to keep entertaining thoughts like this. But, like DiBiase said, every man has their price.
Yeah. I don't think I would want to see that. I mean, I would watch it, but I don't think I would want to see it. So let's get into some real boxing news, and something that shouldn't be a hoax or anything, but it feels like a hoax. It feels like we're being tricked twice. So I hear this whole thing with, Canelo withdrawing from the Triple G fight. That's pretty much right around the corner. We're a month away, as of tomorrow, from that fight. So they're saying that it is a failed drug test. So, update me and the listeners, basically on what's going on with this situation.
Right on. And out there in the Wait a Minute show landscape, what has happened is Canelo Alvarez has tested twice now positive for banned substances, PEDs, as we commonly call them. his defense has been, and there's a little truth to this,